Good morning, good afternoon or good evening. Hi, I'm Jennifer Williams and I am part of the Global Supplier Centre of Excellence, and it is my absolute pleasure to take you through today's session on getting to know your workbench. Our agenda today has already started with the introduction of myself and a welcome. We will now move on to what is the workbench? Why would I use the workbench? How should I use the workbench? And how to manage the information on your workbench. Then we will move on to some more information and where to get it from, and then finishing with my favourite part, Q&A. All right, first steps first. Remember that you can ask a question at any time during the session by using the Q&A widget on your screen. If the Q&A widget is not visible, click on the question mark at the bottom of your screen. Let's begin by logging into the SAP Business Network. Now, the home page or dashboard is the first screen that you will see, irrespective of whether you are using an enterprise or a standard account. The tab that we need is the Workbench. Click on it to open the Workbench page. Welcome to the Workbench. There are a few things you should know about the Workbench. The boxes along the top are called tiles. Now, tiles display information such as a number or maybe a dollar value. Also, only a certain number of tiles are displayed along the row. This little arrow indicates there are more tiles. The number of tiles shown or displayed depends on your screen resolution or settings. Here is the Customize option. This allows users to add tiles, remove tiles, or put tiles in a specific order. We will go through this process very soon. While we are looking at Customize, if you log in and you have a little red number next to the Customize, it indicates that there are new tiles for selection. Next, we see the information shown below for the tile that has a blue line on it. This indicates that this is the selected tile. The Edit filter gives users the ability to change the parameters for the information they want to see for an associated tiles. A couple of things to note here. The last 31 days is a default setting and you can only have a total of 25 tiles. The filters for each tile are also shown next to the Edit and Save Filter option, making it easier to see straight away what filters you have associated to a specific tile. Here is the Export option. This allows you to download the information for a specific tile that is shown in the bottom half. It downloads into an Excel format, so that allows you to play with the information. Here is the Settings option. This allows you to change the headings along this bottom section to display the columns of information that you need. There is also an Actions column which provides access to functions such as order confirmation or create invoice. It is now time to create some tiles. But before we do, the Workbench allows users to display the information that they use or interact with. So tiles can be set up for specific customers or specific tasks. It is also important to mention at this point that if you are using a generic or general login, when you change any of the tiles, this will change the view of all users that are using this same login. Another great reason why you should have your own SAP Business Network login. That way you can set up the Workbench to meet your needs as a user. Notice that there is no red numbers next to my Customize, and that is because there have been no new tiles added. Click on Customize. We are now on the Edit Workbench screen. Here we can add tiles by using the plus on our empty tile here. We can change the order of the tiles by using drag and drop, or we can remove tiles by using the little X in the corner. Let us add a tile. Click on the plus symbol and the Add Tiles screen displays all of the available tiles. Most tiles will have a question mark. Click on the question mark to find out more information about each of the tiles, or you can refer to the Workbench tile reference document in the Resources section on your screen. Tiles display either a number or a dollar value. Now, tiles need to be added one at a time. There is no bulk upload of tiles available. To add a tile, click on the plus associated with that tile. You can add multiples of the same tile type, but they need to be added separately. Now, this comes in handy when you're working with more than one customer. There is also another feature that affects two tiles, the items to confirm and the items to ship tiles, and that is column grouping. So what is column grouping, I hear you ask? Well, column grouping allows users to perform bulk edits on similar line items. The search results show documents that have the same values for the filters that you have chosen. Refer to the Workbench booklet in your Resources section to find the steps on how to set this up. I have added some tiles, but I'm not really happy with the location of them, so I am going to use drag and drop to rearrange the tiles so they make better sense to me. Using your mouse, hover over the three little lines, hold down your mouse button and move the tile where you need it. This can be done multiple times with the same tile, can be multiple times with other tiles. Now, the next step that I use is to add the subtitle. This can be done during this process, or you can add it afterwards as part of the edit filter process. I'm going to do it now. To change the subtitle of a tile, click on the wording on this blue line. Enter the wording or the description that you feel better suits. And finally, to remove a tile, use the little cross in the top right-hand corner. A little message box appears to confirm that you do want to remove this tile, but it also reminds you you can re-add it at any time. Once you have finished customizing your tiles, you need to click on Apply. The screen then displays the workbench. You need to determine whether the default filters are enough and provide the information you need. If not, use Edit Filters. To edit a filter on a tile, whether it is one you have just created or you want to update the filters on an existing tile, select the tile, then click on Edit Filters. The available filters associated to a tile are shown. Some filters allow multiple selections, others only one choice. Some fields will display a list where you can select from the drop-down list, and other fields require data to be inputted. Also, some filters are greyed out. That is because they are already associated with a status or a particular document. Also remember that the fields displayed are based on the tile type. I suggest that you have a play with all of them to see which ones give you the information that you need. Once you have identified the filters that you want and you're happy, click on Apply. The next step is to save the filters. Before doing that, just check that the filters listed are indeed the filters that you want. If it's all good, click on Save Filter. A pop-up screen will appear. Confirm the information is correct. Click on Save. Before moving on to Q&A, on the screen is an example of the column grouping for items to ship. Remember, this is for bulk processing. For more information about the Workbench, refer to the General Functionality Guide or the Supplier portal. And don't forget the resources in your resource list. Remember, enter your questions in the Q&A widget. We are now starting the Q&A.
Hi, everyone, and thank you all again for joining this session of our ongoing SAP Network Supplier Center of Excellence webinar series. I'm Courtney Massey from the Supplier Center of Excellence, and joining me today is Nora Greger from our enablement team. Just before we dive into some of your questions, I just wanted to let you all know that if we don't get time to answer your question, don't worry, we will actually follow up with those individuals after the session. Additionally, we will be sending out the on-demand recorded version of today's session and a follow-up email within the next 24 hours, so you can rewatch it whenever you please. So now let's get into some of these questions. Nora, again, thank you for joining me today.
Hi, Courtney.
Awesome. Okay, so first question that I have is, do I need special user permissions to see certain tiles on the Workbench, or are they all available to every user on an account?
Yes, some Workbench tiles, such as invoices, item shipment status, and orders, require the user to have specific permissions assigned to them before they can view them. The administrator of your account can give you the necessary permissions under Account Settings, Manage Users, and then Rules.
Okay, awesome. Good to know. Next question. Can I download the information from the tiles?
There is an export feature on the Workbench, which allows you to download the information displayed in the table as an Excel file. The download includes only the information that is currently displayed in the list view, so if there are any lines or columns that are hidden from your current list view, they will not be included.
Okay, good to know. Let's see. Next question. What if I need to make bulk edits on stuff, like similar line items, etc.? Can I use the Workbench to make that easier?
Yeah, so a great way to streamline doing bulk edits is to group Workbench columns for many tiles. When you group columns for a Workbench tile, the search results show documents that have the same values for the filters you've selected. So, for example, you can look for documents with the same description, order number, and item number.
Okay, good. That makes it, I'm sure, a lot easier for people. Next question. Why can't I modify the filters on some of my Workbench tiles?
You can edit the filter on some tiles while others have set filters that cannot be changed. So for example, the new orders tile has a preset filter to display only new orders based on status, and this cannot be modified in the filter area. When you click on a tile, all the filters you can configure will be displayed for you beneath that tile.
Okay. Next question. How do I hide or rearrange the columns on my Workbench? What I see currently is way too cluttered and it takes too long to search.
Yeah, good question. So the columns displayed when you click on a specific tile can be modified. You just need to click on the settings icon at the top right of the column section to open the table setting dialog box. From there, you can drag and drop which columns you want to have displayed or not displayed as you see fit. So just make sure to click the Apply button to save your changes before exiting out.
Okay. Let's see. Next question. Why does one of my tiles have 1,000+ on it when that is incorrect compared to the other tile's metric?
So that count is the number of items that match the tile filter criteria. I would suggest double checking that specific tile's filter settings. It may be that the filters are set for all customers or the time frame is set for the last 365 days, while your other tiles are filtered for maybe the last 30 days.
Oh, okay. Well, that makes sense. Let's see. Question is, how do I change my permissions?
The account administrator is responsible for overall user maintenance, which includes assigning or modifying permissions. They can change your permissions in the account settings area on the drop-down menu by clicking on their initials in the upper right-hand corner after logging into their business network account. Then they'll go into the Manage Users area, select the specific user, and make the adjustments before clicking Save.
Okay, that's good to know. Let's see, next question. What should I do if I receive the error message, user already exists? Please enter, so I guess this is over just general account information. It says, please enter a different username. Can I still register if I see a message stating that my username is currently in use?
Yeah, this is a really common question. So this message means the username you're entering is already associated with a business network, discovery, or sourcing supplier account. You will still be able to register a new user account, but the new username will require to be unique to satisfy SAP Network system requirements. SAP requires that all usernames be formatted just like an email address, but they don't have to be a valid email address. So, for example, if you tried putting in the username me@sap.com, for example, and it was not accepted, you can try using me1@sap.com.
Okay, that's good information to have. Let's see, next question is, I'm sure this is something that a lot of people get, how do I merge a new invitation to create an account with my already existing account?
Yeah, another good question. So some customers send their suppliers email invitations with a link to register an account on the SAP Business Network. This is known as Quick Enablement. If you have an existing account with another customer, you can choose to merge the new invitation into your existing account so that you can manage all of your customer relationships in that one account. You will need your account administrator to do this. To merge your accounts, you will need to click the link from the invitation email your customer sent and enter the SAP Business Network ID, or also called ANID, from the invitation email in the temporary ID field. Then enter the secure code in the secure code field and click Use Existing Account. Then you just log in with the administrator username and password of the existing account and click OK to log into your existing account. The purchase orders from the invitation account will then be added to your orders, purchase orders, or Workbench dashboard. If you do not see the orders, you might have to log out and log back into your existing account for the change to take effect. Just as an FYI, sometimes you're unable to link the quick enablement invitation to your existing account, although your login information is correct and you follow the necessary steps. It can happen that the quick enablement fails. So in this case, you will need to contact SAP customer support to activate the invitation and send it again.
Awesome. Thank you. That was a really great answer. Lots of detail. Okay, so next question is, what if the account administrator is no longer with the company? How do we transfer ownership?
Yeah, another good one, Courtney. This is a question we get a lot. So if the account administrator is no longer with your company and there is no access to the email address on file, you will need to contact SAP customer support via the support center to change the administrator. You will be required to provide the ANID number of the account, the listed administrator name, and the email address. Account reassignment requests go to a specific team within SAP customer support who will verify information and work with other users on the account if necessary to transfer that ownership. You will then be contacted with further instructions to get the account reassignment completed.
Okay, so I'm sure this next question you deal with a lot as well. Can I combine two separate accounts with different ANIDs?
Yeah, so unfortunately, we do not currently have a way to merge two accounts that have different ANIDs into one account. Instead, you can create an account hierarchy, which is one parent account linked to any number of child accounts. This allows the parent account in the hierarchy to manage information not only for that account, but also for the child accounts in the hierarchy. While this does not combine the two accounts into one, it does allow you to better manage multiple accounts since the parent can sign on as any of the child accounts linked to access and manage information from the account hierarchy page.
Okay, good information. Okay, so this next one I'm actually going to answer, but the question is, will I get a recording of this demo? Yes. So like I said earlier, you should receive an email within 24 hours once we end today with the on-demand recording of today's session. Also, if you go into the additional resource area of the session right now, there is a link to the recordings of our previous sessions that we've held this year. If you want to see some of our past topics like account management, support for suppliers, and sourcing. And let's see. I'll take this next one as well. Are there going to be any more of these sessions? So yes. This is going to be our last one for 2022, but our next event will be in mid-January, and we're going to be sending out a registration link for that one closer to the live date. So we hope to have you all join us again for that session. So just be on the lookout for that one. Okay, so Nora, let's jump back into some of these other questions. Okay, can a supplier use the same email domain but with a different ANID number and keep the accounts separate, one being an enterprise account and the other a free account?
Yeah, so you can use the same email address for multiple accounts. However, your username on those accounts must be different. So keep in mind your username must be in an email format but does not have to be a valid email address.
Okay, so that ties in with the one that we answered earlier. Okay, so next one. How do I set the system to let me know via email when a payment is made?
You can set up a number of different notification types in your network account by first clicking on your initials in the top corner of the home page and then selecting Settings. In the settings, there will be a notification option that appears in the drop-down, and it will take you to a page where you can update your notifications to receive an email when a remittance or a payment is sent to your network account.
Awesome. Okay. I'm sure everyone wants to know when they get paid. Let's see. Next one. What is the purpose of the Workbench and tiles?
Good question. So the Workbench is intended to make accessing and monitoring your documents on the network easier. By customizing which tiles are visible, you can cater the homepage to your activities and what sort of documents you need to find. This will make it a lot easier and faster than searching the document number each time in your account.
Okay. Next question. What is the quickest way to see the amount invoiced against a PO?
So you should be able to add a column on your Workbench view to see the amount invoiced on a PO. The settings option on the right hand of your Workbench view will allow you to edit that information that you want visible.
Good to know. Okay, next one is, how can I find an order that was created more than 365 days ago?
So you will need to click into the Orders tile and click on the Edit Filter button. Then utilize the filter called PO number and select the option that says Exact Match. Then you can search by the exact PO number, then hit Apply, and your PO that you searched for should appear below.
Okay. Next question I have is, hi, my manager occasionally receives an email about a solicitation on the business network and forwards it to me. When I look for it, it's not there. When I search for it using the ID, it's not found. Any suggestions?
So usually invitations to an RFP or an RFQ are sent to an individual via email, so they are not transferred to other users, even if they're on the same business network account. You would need the prospective customer to invite your email to the event to gain access.
Okay, so those are pretty much tied to specific users and basically non-transferable.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Let's see. Next one is, are enterprise and standard account having the same tile function and display?
Yeah, so they will work exactly the same and view the same on an enterprise and a standard account.
Okay, good to know. And we have time for, I think, maybe one or two more. So a little more info on setting up new users so that everyone has their own login. Does this require SAP help, or can we do it on our own?
So yeah, you can definitely do it on your own. You would need your administrator to add the users on your account. The instructions for this are, if you click on your initials in the top right-hand corner of your account, you'll go to Settings and then Users. Once you're on that Users tab, you'll click a plus sign in the right corner, and then you'll be able to enter in that user's name, their email address, and a couple of other optional information. You'll then assign that user a role for what they'll be allowed to do on the account, and then you'll click Save, and that user will get an email to set up their password to the account, and they'll be able to log in as a user on the account.
Okay, and that's where they can also modify the permissions for that user, correct?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
There's a Permissions tab and a Users tab.
Awesome. Okay. So let's see if we can get one more in. To submit an invoice for payment, do I go back to the PO email and click the link to confirm the PO and submit the invoice from there?
So I would confirm if the invoicing is done through the network is in scope for that trading relationship. If it is, then yes, you can click on the link from the PO email you received or log into your account and view the PO in your Workbench.
Okay. Okay, guys. Well, thank you so much, Nora. We are at time, but really quick, just want to say thank you to all of our attendees and all of these great questions. Appreciate you guys so much. And Nora, thank you for all of your help today. And hope you guys enjoyed it. Please feel free to give us some feedback in the survey, and we will see you all in January. Hope you guys all have a great holiday season. And yeah, thank you all.